Hey everyone, blessings. I hope that you're all doing well. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the two things that you need to do before and after you ask God for more. Now, before I get into those two things, I'm going to invite you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Also, share this video if you enjoy my content. Also, hit that like button because it helps me out and it helps with the algorithm. And also, drop me a comment. Feel free to drop me a comment because I do enjoy interacting with you all. Now, let's get into our topic of the two things, the thing you should be doing before and after you ask God for more. So oftentimes when we pray, is usually we're praying and we're petitioning God for something, right? And we can all use more of something, and that's a good thing to go to God in prayer about the things that we want, right? But what I'm finding is that many people, they are frustrated. They're not able to manifest the things that they want in their lives. And oftentimes, especially when it comes to asking God for more and for an increase of whatever it is that they want, they're not getting the results. And I've seen many people in the faith community who are struggling a lot financially, who are not seeing the results that they want as far as, an increase. And these frustrations and these difficulties come because many of us fail to apply certain principles. So I want you to keep in mind as you go to God in prayer, understand these two things. God has his part, and God is capable and able of doing anything and everything, right? So God has his part, and we have our own part in manifesting the results that we want in our lives, right? So God has a part, that's number one, and we have a part. So part of our part is adhering to these two principles, especially when it comes to the area of increase and getting more out of life and asking God for more, especially, and I'm going to just use monetary things and material things as an example. We can use more of a lot of other things. We could use a whole lot more faith and love and emotional well-being and better relationships. And that's fine. And definitely go to God to prayer and all those things as well. But I'm just going to use the monetary things because that's often, many people ask for financial blessings and increase, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm one of those Christians that, I believe that there's nothing wrong with that, right? So if you're going to go to God in prayer and asking God for more, there are two things that you need to, well, the first thing that you need to do before is that you definitely need to make sure that you are already a good steward and a good manager over what you already have, right? So a lot of people don't get what they want. They don't get the results out of their prayers for an increase is because they've been lousy managers and a lousy steward over what they already have, right? So if you're asking God for, let's say, $1 million, but you're not able to manage $100, that's a problem. God is not going to give it to you because it might destroy you, right? God is not going to give it to you because you're going to squander it away, right? So God's not going to give it to you because you'll lose it in a heartbeat because you fail to manage what you already have, right? So God watches how we treat the things that we have right now before he gives us an increase. So if you're not doing it or already, start doing it now, especially if you want more out of life and you're asking God for more. Make sure you're a good steward and you're a good manager over what you already have. Listen, I've been through all the stages and phases I've had. Let's say, talk about monetary things. I've had $30 in my checking account and overdraft and negative balances and living paycheck to paycheck and eating ramen noodles and rice and beans and spam and even welfare cheese. So I've been through all the stages and all of that stuff, and I had to learn. Number one, as you become a good manager and as you're seeking to have more and to have an increase in your life, another thing, you have to learn to be grateful for what you already have. That's part of that principle too, right? Being grateful although you may have little, right? So there's a time where I had little But I had also had the understanding that there were people in the world who had a lot less than I had, right? And they were a lot happier than I was, right? So just be grateful for what you already have. You may aspire to want more, and you should aspire to want more and to do better. But definitely be grateful for what you have, because it could be worse, right? And God is still good through it all, right? So be grateful and thankful for what you have, and manage what you have very well. And then you will begin to see the manifestations and the increase, right? And then God can trust you with more. So as we are good stewards and good managers over the stuff that we have, God will bless you with more. It's like if you're going to go and ask God for a bigger and better home and a nicer car, but you don't treat the apartment that you have well, but you want a house. You want a better car, but you don't maintenance your current car, and your current car is a little trashy on the inside, so it's like we have to take care of the things that we already have. And then God will look at that and see, hey, he or she is ready for an increase, right? So that's one of the principles, is be thankful and be a good steward over what you already have, and God will bless you with more. So that's something you should think about before you start the asking, during, right after you ask. Start doing it. If you're not feeling like you're being a good manager right now, start being a good manager and a good steward over what you have, and you will be blessed with more. That's part of my testimony. I was able to get out of debt and get out of certain financial situations as soon as I began to educate myself and be a better steward, be grateful and thankful, and God made a way. He definitely made a way. So he had his part and I had my part. God has his part and you have your part. So just keep that in mind. And the second thing is, once you ask God for the increase, and now that you're a good manager because you're adhering to that principle of management and being thankful for what you already have, the next step is to prepare for what you want, right? So many people aren't getting the results that they need and that they're looking for. They're not able to manifest things in their lives, is because they're still holding on. They want to go and move ahead in the future, but they're still holding on to the past. So it's important for you, this is the next phase, to start preparing for the things that you want. That means letting go of the stuff in the past and start preparing for your future. So as long as you hold on to the stuff from the past and the mindset from the past, your mentality and even your physical space, you won't be in a position to receive more. So we have to physically, spiritually, emotionally start preparing ourselves for the increase. Asking God, how shall I prepare? I asked you for A, B, C, and D. I asked you for more, whatever that more is for you. And the next thing you should be asking God for is guidance. Okay, God, how do I prepare? So next phase is preparation and preparing for the things that you want, right? So if you're asking God for, let's say, a new home, a new house, and now that you're a good steward, your apartment or the home that you're in now is in good shape and you take care of it and everything is great and you're paying your bills on time, right? And so the next phase would be, okay, what are the things that I need to do to, increase in order to be blessed in a way? If that means getting your credit score up, and if that means starting to save for that down payment, that 25%, whatever it is, right? So and getting your financial matters in order, so you'll be ready. Right, that might mean making and earning a little bit more and taking on maybe another job temporarily until you can save up the funds for the things that you want. Because don't think just because you ask God for an increase that you don't have to hustle. That's what a lot of Christians run into. It's lazy. Right? I call it lazy faith, right? There's some people that pray and they just think that things are just going to fall and drop into their lap. Like I said earlier, God has his part, we have our part. So there's sometimes We ask for God for things, and he may handle it all together. We may have to not do much, but oftentimes it does require us to do something, right? Especially when it comes to increase, and that means even psychologically preparing for more money, right? Some of us are still stuck in a poverty mindset, right? Sometimes it means that we have to shift the way we think about certain things. Sometimes it means that we need to educate ourselves. Okay, you want more money. This is just an example. Start educating yourself on how to manage more money. That's how you begin to prepare. So as you ask God for this increase, you got to prepare for the increase, right? So for whatever it is, right? I'm going to get out of the money and, the monetary stuff. And even if you're asking God for a spouse or for a relationship, you've got to prepare mentally and emotionally for that, right? Prepare yourself and to make room for another person, right? So it's just even when it comes down to our health, we're asking God, to bless our health, or to make us healthier, to help us out. And He has His part, we have our part. There are things that we need to do specifically in order to be healthier individuals. So God has a part, we have a part, and when we ask God for an increase, we have to make sure that we start preparing for it and acting like we're going to get it, acting like it's coming, acting like it's on its way. There are things right now for me personally that I'm praying and asking God for in faith, and I'm literally physically moving and preparing for my increase in the things that I want, right? I'm moving things around. I'm getting rid of old things and things from the past, and I'm embracing my future, and I'm manifesting it by moving in a direction of where I want to go, right? So those are the two principles. So the two principles is making sure that you are a good steward over what you already have, and secondly, start preparing for what you want and making room for the things that you want. And as you apply these principles and as you ask God in faith, you will be blessed and you'll begin to see those manifestations and those results. But if you don't follow those principles and you just pray and don't do those other things, you may not get it and you may be frustrated. So that's what I wanted to share with you, the things that you should do before and after you ask God for more. And it's my prayer for you that you get everything out of this life, all the blessings that God has for you. And I know there's so much that He does have for your life. And for those of you out there who are struggling and you've been through great difficulties, I just want you to know that God has not forgotten you, and that there's more for you, and that there is increase for you, and everything that the enemy has stolen from you, God is going to bless you with more. Just keep the faith, keep trusting in Him, keep relying on Him. Do not, under any circumstances, give up, and you will see the other side of it. And it's coming. Your deliverance is coming. Your blessing is coming. I'm saying this for a reason, because somebody out there needs to hear it. It's on its way, but keep trusting the Lord. Well, that's all I want to share with you in this video. Take care. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.